Watch This Morning is sponsored by Home and Things, your construction finishes superstore.
Imagine styles of tiles for every room. So trendy, sophisticated, stunning, yet cool. Simply unique. Tiles for floors to walls and everything in between. Make your best home anything but ordinary. At Home and Things.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org. And if you're overseas and on the move, US listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and the YouTube Live. In the first watch today, we need more than four, discussing the current teacher and police wage dispute. And in the second watch, gag or not to gag, examining the inclusion of the gag clause and its effects on the operations of the Integrity Commission. Our social media question we ask, what are your thoughts on the current police and teacher wage demands? Please share your responses on our Facebook page, Love 101 FM, and also on WhatsApp, 876-997-3125, using the hashtag, The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's I quote.
Interestingly, this morning's I quote, I like criticism. It makes you strong, or courtesy of LeBron James.
Good morning, Neeson.
Good morning to you, sir. Toussaint, how are you?
I'm well, Welcome back. Good to see you at this time.
God be the glory. So happy to see you, sir.
In the morning.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, we were just talking about LeBron James a while ago. What is your favorite sport?
Track and field.
You know, I could tell. I could tell. Yeah.
Oh.
You're built, the way you look. You look like you're run, man. That's good. I'm track and field and basketball, you see?
Okay.
So I'm following the NBA. So we'll talk about that off here, okay?
All right, no problem, sir.
All right. The first watch will be back after this break.
More ways to win big this Christmas. The more you watch, listen, and stream with your favorite digital apps, the more chances you have to win from thousands of prizes. We're talking prizes of 500,000 and so much more. Not to mention a special Boxing Day prize of tickets for two to a Copa destination of your choice. Simply listen to your favorite Christmas carols in D-Music, watch movies in Playgo, or connect with friends in BIP to be a winner. Shake to win in the My Digicel app today. Digicel, better together this Christmas. Visit digiceljamaica.com for terms and conditions. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act. Promotion valid November 19, 2021 to January 13, 2022.
Pay your water bill. Keep the benefits flowing to wash your clothes and dishes. It's a small price for a big service. That was a message from the NWC.
Jamaica's gangs are like packs of rats. They live in filth and try and drag us all in there with them, spreading the disease of violence and corruption everywhere. But like a pack of rats, they can be eliminated with your help. If you have information on gangs, call Crime Stop on 311. This message is brought to you by Crime Stop and their marketing partners, Lime and NCB.
Yo, what's your new Wi-Fi password?
Just scan the code.
Yo, your net a move fast.
You mean fiber fast with Flow? I upgraded and can stream class, video call mommy, and surf online with ease now.
With over $200 million invested over the past 3 years, Flow continues to improve access to the internet island-wide. Over 240 communities got connected to the FiberFast experience in 2021 with more to come. Join the Flow family to stay connected to your progress on Jamaica's largest network.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, two recent newspaper headlines have certainly grabbed the attention of the public. They are as follows: teachers not greedy, and nobody no better than we. They are both relating to the fact that the nation's teachers and police officers are negotiating for a wage increase, but neither is satisfied with the government's offer so far. Why is this so? And how will this wage dispute be resolved? And if not, what are the other options? Well, to answer these and other related questions, we have online Corporal Rowan James, Chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, and Mr. Winston Smith, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association. Good morning to you both.
Good morning to Font, and good morning, Corporal James.
Good morning, Sir Winston.
And good morning to all teachers of Jamaica who are continuing to uplift the economic standard of Jamaica by educating our nation's children.
There we go. All right, gentlemen. Yes.
I just want to salute my colleagues and continue to implore them to keep the professionalism and the faith.
Okay, sir. Thank you both. All right, with introductions like that, I think you're going to have an interesting discussion, because I want to begin by asking you, what is the current situation re the wage dispute between your respective organizations and the government? And what are your concerns in that regard? Begin with you, Mr. Smith.
Well, we are still waiting on a final official response from the Ministry of Finance and Public Service. We would have met with them, and they would have made their position known to us. We would have responded to what was presented to us, and we had a further meeting. So we are waiting on a final response, because we had gotten a response. But then subsequent to that, we received an email, or Secretary General received an email to say that the response was, for want of a better word, inconclusive, in that there are other things that they are considering and that we should await such response. So as it is now, we are waiting on that final and official response from the Ministry of Finance and Public Service. Suffice it to say though, the 4% is still on the table, and without any major or any significant increase or movement in the areas that are of fundamental importance to the teachers' well-being.
So what was it that the teachers proposed?
Of course, we have submitted our claim in its entirety, and there are areas of grave concern, speaking to book and software technology allowances, better conditions of service, better pay in general as it relates to movement right across the board. We would have gotten some movement in professional development fees. Well, not fees, professional development support, which is very commendable in a sense, but that does not benefit the masses. And if we should divide it by the number of teachers, you realize that the increase or the movement is almost infinitesimal.
So they are proposing 4%. What percent have you been asking for, Mr. Smith?
We asked for 20% in year 1 and 15% in year 2. The government is responding to say that all matters will be addressed in the compensation review. Now, to date, we have not yet seen the compensation review. We would have had dialogue with the consultants who are doing the review, and there are myriads of questions we would have asked of the team, to which they cannot respond to us because their answer is simple. They are just an agent doing something, and what they have put is they are not the final arbiter on it. So therefore, to be telling us that all matters will be solved in the compensation review, which to date, even as we speak, we have not yet seen that document to peruse it and to ask pertinent questions. So it is a little uncomfortable for us to be willing to say, okay, we're going to take this for a pie in the sky thing, because as far as we are concerned right now, it's just a dream. We may very well find that that dream becomes a nightmare if we're not careful. So we need to see what the compensation review really holds in its truest sense and not just in a conversation.
Okay, Corporal James, different on your end?
The fact of the matter, we have rejected the government's 4% offer, and there is in fact a trust deficit. The negotiation is at a deadlock as we speak. We have indicated that we cannot continue to have the rank and file cohort subsidizing national security, and I say this against the background that over the past 10 years, we have been amenable to the economic shocks and responded to the government's cry, and we are working in excess of 60 to 70 hours, up to 92 hours per week, and that means that it is a police officer, the rank and file, so to speak, that has to be found in the capital to be out there. And you would have heard me speak about the issue of us having to be finding material, uniform, etc., to be doing the government's work. It is out of sheer commitment and respect to the people of Jamaica why it is that some members continue to do so. And we are saying to our employer, we cannot continue to facilitate you having us being treated less than glorified security guards as we were ascribed. We must now take a stand in the interest of not only the membership's well-being, but the people of Jamaica, because we realize that if we don't get certain things fixed, crime, criminality, corruption, and COVID is going to wipe us out as a nation. And the principal aspect of it is that we have to take a position, we have to take a stand, and we have to treat with this once and for all. Without skirting around the bush, national security is too key an issue that has been under-resourced for the longest while, and we cannot continue to hug up failures in this country.
So, Corporal James, you mentioned glorified security guards. You have been so called. Is that what you're saying?
That was one of the description that was used when referring to the current standard that currently exists in the constabulary force by our Minister of National Security whilst addressing certain issues. And I say this against the backdrop that though he was making a case that there needs to be much more done for national security, though resources are being pumped, there needs to be a holistic approach to be taken for that change to be effective. And it requires the will of the powers that be to place the capital where the heart is and the mouth is for the result and the outcome to be different. You cannot have members of the constabulary force operating in a high-stress job with less than the capacity to treat with their welfare and health and expect that the public will be impacted in terms of the quality output of service. You cannot have a low moral organization membership operating out there in a high stress environment where every single citizen expect the police to be a problem solver. Yet still our employer doesn't seem to underscore the importance of the role of the police day-to-day activities. So it is that we are saying to our employer, wake up. the issue that is on the table is not beyond our remit in terms of pursuing criminal elements. It is that our employer is tying our hands to get the job done.
Okay. All right. Hold that thought, please, gentlemen. We're up on a break. We'll be right back.
Between 2015 and 2020, there were 74,455 reports of child abuse in Jamaica. Report child abuse. Call 211.
The time brought to you by the Child Protection and Family Services Agency is
7:16 on the Sound of Love 101.
It's time to shake it till you make it with Digicel. We're going to make 5 random pickups in a new parish every week. You'll get 3 minutes to answer 5 questions correctly and get a guaranteed shake to win $20,000 cash or a Samsung Galaxy phone, $10,000 GPS voucher, and more. Look out for the Digicel Christmas car in your town and get shaking this Christmas with Digicel. Better together this Christmas. Visit DigicelJamaica.com for terms and conditions. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Promotion valid November 26, 2021 to January 14, 2022.
It's almost Christmas and Fosrich Super Sale is back. Yes, you heard it. Come Monday, November 22 to December 2, enjoy massive discounts on electrical and lighting products, LED bulbs, flood lamps, and so much more. COVID still a keep, so all protocols will be strictly observed. Step on down to Fosrich in Kingston, Mandeville, and Montego Bay, or visit fosrich.com/shop. It's Fosrich Super Sale, November 22 to December 2. It's Fosrich.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and this first watch, we are discussing the current teachers and police wage dispute. And we have online Corporal Rowan James, Chairman of the Jamaica Police Federation, and Mr. Winston Smith, President of the Jamaica Teachers Association. Mr. Smith, still with us?
Yeah, man, I'm right here, Dylan.
Yeah, let me just say this, that we all know that there are bargaining ploys, are there not, when you are going into negotiations with some predetermined thresholds, right? So isn't it that both sides are actually just going through the routine of positing figures, knowing that there's a threshold figure that you're going to be arriving at in the end?
But Dylan, we are 8 months into our new contract period. 8 months into the new contract period, Dylan. We would have submitted our claim from as far as December 2020. We are now November 30 in the year 2021. If we value education, and you see, Dylan, I want the nation to understand, that the posture of the Ministry of Finance and Public Service over the successive years, so it's not about any particular government, is one that conveys to the nation, and especially to the youth, that we really don't value education, Because if we really value education, and education is so important, why is it that it has been treated in such a manner? Now, let me share something with you, Dylan. We have teachers leaving our shores in droves. And I can say this, that the nation's education system should say thanks to COVID-19, the pandemic. Because had it not been for the pandemic, right now, we would have a deficit of teachers in the classroom. When you look at what is being offered by the government, a 4% increase, that we're down to a simple, insignificant figure. And I want to give you exact figure here now. If we were to accept this 4% increase, a teacher entering the profession with a first degree would get $216.56 per day before tax. That's what the government is looking at teachers and offering us, $216.56 before tax. What can that buy? You're sending the teachers out to starve, assuming they can even find the fare to get to work. And guess what? To make it even more, look at it this way now. To put it to you in real terms, a teacher with a first degree, having taught in Jamaica's education system for 11 years, many of them without getting any leave. The government is offering that teacher an increase of $269.20 per day before tax. And that is why, Dylan, the more experienced teachers are leaving. Because if we look at what the teachers are getting, and I'm going to give you figures, I want to give the nation figures. I don't want the nation to believe, and that's what I said in the paper, Teachers are not greedy and gluttonous, We are starving. The education system right now is like a man with a car. You fix it up, you spray the shell, you put on reflectors, you put on spoiler, you put on mag rims, but the engine is not serviced and treated properly. The car will just not go. When you have a teacher entering the system and he's being paid, and I'm looking at the person just leaving college now, most of these persons have massive student loan fees. And you're going to offer this individual with a first degree $108,278 before tax. And the figure may look, $108,000 look plenty on paper. But if we start to spend that money in Jamaica, we're renting looking at 40,000, 50,000, if not more, for a single room. Light is 8,000, 9,000, 10,000. When you spend off all the money in terms of normal basic necessities of life, the teacher has absolutely no money to buy clothes or food in the home.
All right, well said, sir. Let me just bring in back Corporal. Let me bring back Corporal James. Winston, you want to bring in back Corporal James? Corporal, isn't it that the bargaining clause is being utilized here in terms of these negotiations?
Let me say this straight up. What I've observed at the Ministry of Finance, at the level that we currently see, from a position where you used to see bargaining chip, it's a dictatorial approach that is being taken. It is not in good faith, and as far as I'm concerned, it is take it or leave it. Yes, and I say it without any fear of contradiction. It is not in good faith, and when you have trust deficit, that when our employer negotiates with us and they continue to breach those contractual agreement, even so, to date, a constable earning $70,000, and for our employer in today's world to be offering a constable before tax $125 per day, which is $2,801.27 equivalent for the month. It is that our employer is telling us national security is not priority, and he has no regard for the constable who lives in St. Catherine, is deployed in Westmoreland, having to find resources to have living accommodation. You are telling that officer, go get yourself involved in nefarious activities and leave the citizens of this country, because that is not where our priority is. And I'm saying to this country, wake up, because our employer does not understand that they are creating the atmosphere for lawlessness to continue unabated when they continue to ignore the basic necessities, and most of all, the basic indicator to say these are impediments dogging the Jamaica Constabulary Force for far too long, when the Constabulary Force budget is constantly slashed and the Commissioner of Police is unable to buy even stationaries to record the people's complaint. It's an indictment on our employer, and we cannot continue to allow for these things to happen without calling out our employer and to say to the citizens of this country, it is our employer that is causing crime to continue in the manner in which it is continuing, because they continue to neglect the indicators that would allow for us as law enforcement practitioners to serve and to treat with the issues consistent and sincerely and professionally from our standpoint. We cannot continue to see a concept out there creeping, divide of uniform, and you continue to say pride and joy. Yes, we have sworn to serve the people of Jamaica, but our employer who are elected continue to fail the people because they continue not to place the resources where it is greatly needed, so that equity across the board, every citizen will have an equal opportunity to survive in this land called Jamaica, land we love. Our forefathers vision, through the roadmap, which is the motto, the anthem, and the pledge. It's clear. So our elected representative need to demonstrate the will and put the capital. If I can say this without any fear of contradiction, once you put the capital in education and security, it automatically will resonate with economic growth prospect, because you will have less crime. So you will not have to spend more on healthcare, and in healthcare, a healthy nation, because you have most of the chronic ailment is as a result of stress-related issues. So if our employer, which is the government, is serious about economic growth and prospects, you must put the capital at best in education and national security, and not the JDF alone, as the government has been doing. They continue to focus on the JDF as if the JDF is the only force. It is not.
Yeah. As you mentioned, education, Corporal James. I'm just wondering, Mr. Smith.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, when you hear the figures quoted a while ago by Corporal James, policemen and women who are out there facing the bullet, facing all of this, the violence thing that comes with it. How do you feel about the teachers and what the teachers are getting when you square police vis-a-vis teacher?
You see, when you look at the issue, it's almost like a cycle we are creating. We ignore the security forces, we ignore the education sector, and then we wonder why our country is in such a state. The police deserve everything that they're asking for. The teachers of Jamaica deserve everything we're asking for, because it is in the safety and security of our nation and the education of our people that the country will grow. And I want to say to the government, the best crime plan you can come up with is a proper fixing of the education system. So schools will be able to know to produce children who will recognize the importance.
Winston.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Man,
when Corporal James spoke, when he spoke a while ago, the figures that he mentioned sound similar to what the teacher that is just leaving Teachers College gets. How fair is that? That's a question I'm asking. Yes,
the thing
for
is,
the police.
We should not. We
police
should not
figure to be so close.
No. What I'm saying, we should not seek to compare what a police or a teacher get, because if we go down that route, we're not solving the problem. We're only creating greater problem. And any conversation that seeks to compare police and teachers is a conversation I would not be a party to, because they should not be compared. Each individual should be treated in their own merit and recognize their value and their worth and compensate them appropriately. So there's no contest. It is not a contest to say, oh, let us see whether the teachers are going to get more, the police is going to get more. Because the minute we start to dissect this thing and to pit each other, group against each other, then we are even creating greater problem rather than creating a solution.
All right. Corporal James, you have the final say. Going forward.
It is important to note. It is important to note that the trust deficit has been widened, because when you look at the compensation review that has not been disclosed, we have to take in consideration that the pension reform has placed our membership at a detriment, whereas normally when you retire, you get a 92% income replacement. This new compensation pension review, it places the member at a 72% income replacement, which is a far cry from what obtained previously. and the government did not afford us the latitude since we were contributors to the fund, our fund prior to. They imposed a position upon us, which has placed our members at a far worse off position. And we are saying that at this time, place all the cards on the table so that we can make informed choices in the interest of this country and in the interest of the well-being of our members. We cannot continue to subsidize national security, and we are asking to free the shackles so that we can focus on serving the citizens of this country without any fear of compromising in any era. We want to be able to serve and to give service unfettered.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us. We are totally out of time. An interesting discussion, and we hope all the best with the ongoing negotiations. Have a productive day.
You're most welcome.
Listeners,
you too, sir.
Listeners, the Morning Watch will return in just a moment.
Now with no processing fees and no down payment, it's time to open the door to your own sweet home. The time by JN Bank is
7:31.
Tired of bending and aches when cleaning? Get a Scrubber bath, floor, and car cleaner. # no more bending. This 4-feet extendable tile and tub cleaner makes your surfaces clean. So, # no more bending. Free post office delivery or WhatsApp us at 876-990-9740. # no more bending. View on Scrubber Tub 5 or Instagram / no more bending.
We're committed to reducing the impact of disasters occurring in Jamaica. Hurricanes gonna happen, so be prepared.
The world is full of job opportunities locally and overseas. Let us bring them to you. Register now at Distinction College located at 26 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 6 Nugent Street, Spanish Town, and Ocho Rios. In 2 to 3 months, earn local and international certificates in housekeeping, food and beverage, food preparation, receptionist, and customer service. Qualified to work in hotels, cruise ships, restaurants, and businesses worldwide. No subjects required, no age limits, no entrance test. Day, evening, and Saturday classes begin very soon at low school fees, easy and flexible payment plans. Call us 356-4167.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. In the Gleaner, Rihanna declared national hero of Barbados. And then barbaric. PM's death penalty wish slammed. Comments viewed as trespass on judiciary. Then we see here that HIV has not gone anywhere. More players need to join fight against epidemic, says the official. And in the Observer, government rewards top civil servants. And also accused gangster begged to witness husband's ordination. And then finally in the Observer, weary world slams doors shut, fearing Omicron variant. Those are some of the major stories in our newspapers. Well, coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our Facebook and WhatsApp question. What are your thoughts on the current police and teacher wage demands? Please leave a comment on our Facebook page, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
At JN Bank, we're bringing hope to you and your loved ones for the holidays. Give and receive the happiness you've looked forward to all year long. Get personal unsecured loans up to $5 million with low monthly payments, loans to boost your small business, and joyful rewards when you use your JN Bank Visa credit card. So whether you're doing last-minute spending or getting ready for the new year, choose hope for the holiday. With JN Bank, we'll help you find a way.
Hello.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Goodbye? What are you doing?
I'm saying hello to peace of mind. and goodbye to worry.
Oh, I'd like to say that too.
Well, with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider, you can secure your medical expenses in the event of critical illness ahead of time and benefit from their investment portfolio too.
Wow, so it's hello peace of mind.
And goodbye worry with Guardian Life's new Ultimate Provider. For more information, contact 888-367-5433 or talk to one of our representatives. Guardian Life. Live secure. Live easy.
Since the start of this year, the National Children's Registry has received almost 7,000 reports of child abuse. These include sexual, physical, emotional, and neglect. It is time to start protecting our children. If you know something isn't right, make the call. Report child abuse. Call 211.
I'm the Reverend Newton Dixon. I belong to the African Methodist Episcopal Church, and I'm the president of the Jamaica Council of Churches. I am vaccinated. My fellow Jamaicans, we have this wonderful gift from God called science. Science has assisted us to address the quality of our lives and to provide wise choices as we live in the world. From telecommunications to construction to transportation, science has enriched our lives. No less has medical science. And now we hear from medical science that 90% of our people who come to hospitals inflicted with the COVID-19 virus are unvaccinated. This is not just a scientific fact for me. This is a common sense basis for a decision to get vaccinated. So please, brothers and sisters, get vaccinated.
Yo, what's your new Wi-Fi password?
Just scan the code.
Yo, your net a move fast.
You mean fiber fast with Flow? I upgraded and can stream class, video call mommy, and surf online with ease now.
With over $200 million invested over the past 3 years, Flow continues to improve access to the internet island-wide. Over 240 communities got connected to the FiberFast experience in 2021 with more to come. Join the Flow family to stay connected to your progress on Jamaica's largest network.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's join Nissan for a look at how our Facebook and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. What are your thoughts on the current police and the teacher wage demands? Nissan.
All right, thank you very much, sir. This comment is not necessarily on the teachers and police wage demand, but it's saying my concern is why the finance minister stopped giving care packages to teachers. That is still not working. We should have received a payout in October, and there is nothing. The last payment we got was in July of 2021. That's a single comment that we have on this side, or I have on this side. So tossing things over into your court, sir.
All right, thank you. And we thank the individual who sent in the feedback. Now, as we segue into the second watch, listeners, in recent times, questions have risen about the continued imposition of a gag clause, barring the Integrity Commission from announcing or commenting on investigations involving the country's lawmakers. Indeed, just last week, the Gleaner published a report entitled "Blanket Gag on Watchdog Has No Merit," says Panton, who happens to be the chairman of the Integrity Commission. But what really is the story behind this gag clause? And how will this affect the operations of the commission? To address these and other related issues, we have joined us this morning Ms. Jeanette Calder, Executive Director of the Jamaica Accountability Portal, and Mr. Isaac Buchanan, Attorney at Law. Good morning to you both.
Good morning, Toussaint. Good to be with you.
Good morning.
Morning, Isaac.
Yes, good. Good to have you both. Let me begin with you, Ms. Calder. Well, before we delve into the meat of our discussion, tell us what really is the Integrity Commission and what, as you understand it, is its role and the function?
Wow, well, the Integrity Commission really came about out of an idea that we had 3 watchdog agencies, and it's really important to know the history. So I'm glad for the question, Toussaint. We had the Office of the Contractor General that was pretty much, well, most Jamaicans knew them. They were responsible for basically monitoring the award of contracts, making sure that the procurement process in Jamaica was without any flaws, was without any hint of corruption. Then you had the Integrity Commission, which can be a little confusing because the new entity is called the Integrity Commission, but there was such an entity before that merged with the Contractor General, and they were pretty much responsible for keeping our politicians honest. And those are not my words. Those are actually the words of the legislation that governed this entity. And in essence, what they did is that they would have to track on a yearly basis what our parliamentarians own, what they owe, and what they earn, basically all of their assets. And the purpose behind it was to make sure that there were no unexplained assets, no ill-gotten gain. So you had that entity, and a third one known as the Corruption Prevention Commission, which did pretty much the same thing that the Integrity Commission did, but not for parliamentarians. They did it for all other public officials. So we merged those 3 together and created what we have today as of the Act of 2017 is the Integrity Commission, which is supposed to be a muscled up anti-corruption entity.
Yeah. Mr. Buchanan, what really is a gag clause? And based on the laws of the land, how does it apply to the Integrity Commission?
All right, so the gag clause, essentially, for your listeners, would be a clause which prevents the entity from speaking publicly about matters before it is tabled within the parliament. And so in relation to the Integrity Commission, if they're doing investigations until that report is submitted to Parliament, they cannot speak to the public on it or speak to the contents or the progress of the investigation. So that's basically what it is in a nutshell.
Right. And what was, was that always the case with these commissions that deal with these matters?
So what has happened is Parliament had found it in their wisdom to ensure and protect the reputation of its members to place this within the context of the legislation, context of how these entities operate for that reason, because parliamentarians are also citizens, and what more than anybody else, their integrity and reputation will be diminished before the public if matters were simply to be, as soon as somebody makes an allegation, it's all over the media, especially from a watchdog. It would certainly not be in the interest of the nation. So that is the wisdom behind the gag order, and it has been in place for some time. So it is, in modern times, I guess it is the Commission's position that such an order should be moved with an effort to advance their ability to inform the public.
Ms. Calder, what are your views, therefore, on the gag clause in relation to the Integrity Commission?
Well, I, from day one, have had a major difficulty with it. I want to preface my concern by saying that you have to, what they said, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I certainly would not want to be in a position, particularly so if I were innocent of something, and you would wake up one morning and see your name on the front page that there's an investigation going on. And culturally speaking, Doc, there is and I think, as Jamaicans, we understand why this would be the case. When they see Jeanette Calder's name or Dr. Toussaint's name on the front page being investigated by a government entity with whom the public had invested a lot of confidence in, the Contractor General's office at the time, they kind of said to themselves already that, look, if the Contractor General is looking into this, chances are Dr. Toussaint is guilty.
Right.
And the worst part about it is that there are several instances when persons were exonerated, but in the minds of the public, once Dr. Toussaint's name was on the front page and the contractor general was investigating, Dr. Toussaint, a big man, big man always get exonerated. So in the mind of the public, even if you're innocent, there's still this blot and there's this stain left on your character because we just feel, say, you know what, a doctor him name, so him would have get off anyway. So there was this concern and there is this concern. My difficulty, however,
Before
is
you
that
go there, Jeanette, could you just hold that thought? We're up on a break. We'll be
certain,
right back.
no problem.
This Christmas, Hope Rocks has got something real special for you. It's going to be loads of fun. Saturday, December 18, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Don't miss a Zoom party pre-show with DJ Rebirth. Sign up to be a part of the Zoom party pre-show. Love 101 staff members will be on show. Guest artists and performers, live band, and lots of prizes and surprises. Hope Rocks. Christmas 101. Come home. Saturday, December 18, beginning at 5 p.m. Oh, it's going to be a really heap of fun. You can't afford to miss it.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the second watch, we are discussing the whole matter of the inclusion of a gag clause on the operations of the Integrity Commission. And we have online Mr. Isaac Buchanan, attorney at law, and Ms. Jeanette Calder, executive director of the Jamaica Accountability Portal. Ms. Calder, before the break, you were telling us of your views in regards to this gag clause.
Right. Thanks, Doc. And I had started by saying that I can empathize, well, really sympathize. I've never been in that situation with how the parliamentarians feel and how the public views them once that announcement has been made. However, I am of the view that this gag clause has weakened what would have been for me a very strong and a very strong legislation, and one that would have been very progressive. And why I say that is this.
Mm-hmm.
It has always been to me so simple that we could eat our cake and have it. I cannot understand why since 2018 until now this is still even a debate. Because, for example, just what the Integrity Commission has said in their own letter, their own report to the Parliament asking them to remove it, it is the only entity in Jamaica, the only watchdog agency that has a gag clause. We have at least 3 other agencies of government that do similar kinds of investigations as it relates to mismanagement, corruption, fraud. We have the Auditor General's Department, no gag clause. We have MOCA, no gag clause. We have the Financial Investigation Division of the Ministry of Finance, no gag clause. Now, prior to, I think, 2006, the Contractor General never even had a problem of this nature with a Contractor General. This entire issue seems to be vested, Dr. Toussaint, in one individual. So much so, we can call it the Greg Christie clause. And I say that freely because Mr. Christie himself has referred to it in the Parliament, which was really big of him, acknowledging the problem. Now, I feel that if you have a situation in your studio, for example, where you have one anchor on a particular show that uses words that are not consistent with what Love 101 would like them to use, and you're not bleeping it in time, would you then, instead of dealing with that one individual, decide to put a rule in place that says every anchor has to pre-record them show because we don't know what they're going to say? So I feel the government got up and took up a hammer to hit a fly. And this has has actually created quite a bit of problems for us in terms of governance, in terms of transparency, in terms of even the same reputational risk. Why do I say that? August 2021, we got a report from the Integrity Commission saying that 2 parliamentarians were being investigated. Do you know what that did to the other, let me put it that, 82 parliamentarians? What I was told is that several of them were being hounded by the media because they were trying to find out, could it be this one, could it be that one. So what it had actually done, in fact, by refusing to tell the public which two parliamentarians were being investigated, all of a sudden the reputation of all the 82 came under scrutiny. You understand what I'm saying, Doc?
Yeah, following you.
The second thing is that transparency is extremely important in government. We are spending $923 million on an institution that we in turn cannot hold to account, because there have been a ream of things that have happened in Jamaica since the Integrity Commission was operationalized in 2018. And Doc, none of us are in a position to say whether or not the matter is being addressed. That is a serious problem for good governance. And that's not the only problem. I heard you say this morning that the issue was a matter of the public not knowing when a matter was being investigated. It is far more troubling than that, Doc. It actually goes as far as when they are charged and when they are prosecuted. Now, I can ask Isaac, do you know of any citizen in Jamaica who has been charged and prosecuted, being prosecuted, and would have that level of privacy? I know of none. So what this has actually done, Dr. Toussaint, is that our legislators have passed a law that has a built-in inequity where they can hide behind the shield of that act, while all other Jamaicans found to have committed a crime, that would be a public matter by the time it comes to prosecution. Is that fair?
That's a mouthful, certainly. Mr. Buchanan, argument sounds strong and reasonable. What's your response?
It sounds strong, but let me respond to that. The practices of the JCF is another matter, because the Constitution allows you to be cloaked in the presumption of innocence, and a lot of times they would have put things in the media that would have pretty much caused the investigation to be of no moment when it gets to the court. So when it comes to the presumption of innocence and the right to privacy, what we are actually seeing with this gag order is the protection of those rights for the parliamentarians, but it ought to be that way even for the private citizen. I will say to you that under the law, the police is not supposed to go to the public with their investigation until the person is charged, is before the court, and then the matter would be before the court. Yes.
She said that up to the point of being charged and prosecuted.
So what I understand the gag order to be is not in keeping with my friend Miss Calder, because
that's not your understanding of it.
That is not my understanding, because what happens is following the investigation, once the report is tabled, the Integrity Commission is allowed to speak on it. So what I understood it to be saying is they want to be able to speak on matters while there's a pending investigation.
And this is one of the reasons why I am really pleased that Doc asked me to come and share with the nation this morning, because this is something I have confirmed with the Integrity Commission. So this is not only my understanding, this is something I have in writing as an explanation provided to me by the Integrity Commission itself. And that's why I'm here, Doc, because this is not something that has been said to the people of Jamaica.
Right? The first time hearing this, actually.
Absolutely. And I will, and there's more that I can say, Doc. That's not the only anomaly as it relates to this particular piece of legislation.
Well, let me give Mr. Buchanan his say then. Continue, Mr. Buchanan.
No, so what I'm saying, and you've given me new information, and I would say respectfully, if that is the way that the gag order is being operated, that would be unconstitutional.
What?
It would be, and I would say that, because then it would be for the public, any ordinary citizens, to say that they're being deprived of particular things. I won't set that out because I might be hired to challenge that. But so the point is this, that the gag order is only to protect a pending investigation. Correct. If charges are being brought, that's a matter of public record. And in that vein, I would say I see no issue with the gag order, because there has to be parliamentarians, respectfully, are a different class of persons. They're
What?
high
Excuse
pro.
me?
Meaning what?
Yes.
Meaning what?
Meaning what? I
Isaac?
will say this. I will say this. They have to put themselves up to public scrutiny, and anything by the whim of somebody's allegation or speech, a whole political reputation can end by just a statement, a 9-day wonder that many persons can't come back from. So that
Well,
is important. They have put themselves up to public scrutiny, and with that, with that responsibility, it would be unfair to them for as soon as, for instance, what had happened to. Yes, go ahead,
But
Ms.
no,
Carla.
Isaac, it's just that we go ahead, Doc.
No, I'm
Sorry.
just
So go
wondering,
ahead.
Isaac, shouldn't our leaders lead by example?
No, man. So one of the things about leading by example, and I can tell you about the danger of media and how and the power of the media and how things are put to the public, because it could very well be that the Integrity Commission would come and say these are things we are doing, and what comes on the front page is not something that the average person can come back from. And so that is the aspect of it that has to be protected. Nothing more. And I will say this, an investigation, and one can tell you that's one of the reasons why the government had gone against the Constitution, against the doctrine of separations of powers, and against a ruling of the court, and went ahead and called this a state of emergency, because we have very poor investigative abilities. A lot of the investigations lead to nothing. And so it cannot be that you want to say we want to investigate, so we want to ignore the right to privacy and all of that to do
Mr.
that.
Buchanan. Yes, Ms. Calder.
As I have said before, we have the precedents, we have the example of at least 3 other watchdog agencies of government who have demonstrated that we can entrust them with the discipline and the control to simply let us know that we are investigating a matter, not a person. I can think of instances right now, Doc, I can tell you, Isaac, that one of the reasons this organization exists is because in 2016, when I was deeply, deeply impacted by the People's National Party then decision to purchase that Outer project, I remember about 3 months of agitation from the people of Jamaica. And what the Auditor General then did is to signal to the people of Jamaica that she was going to investigate the matter. I was deeply appreciative of that. And that is something that actually led to the formation of JAMP. Seeing that we have watchdog agencies in Jamaica who will respond to the interest, to the concerns of the Jamaican people about a matter, and let us know we are paying that bill, Doc. Let us know they are going to investigate the matter. Now, I am saying if we can have 3 agencies where we can have heads of those entities that can appreciate the danger of coming out and saying, I'm going to investigate Toussaint, and they can respect that, then surely we should not pull down this veil on the Integrity Commission that has so many other downsides to it just because of one particular person who occupied another public office for 7 years. I don't think that is reasonable. The other thing that I find troubling about the legislation, Isaac and Toussaint, and to your listeners, is that there's really more than one gag clause. It's not just clause or section 53.3, but section 56.1. And because I know we don't have a lot of time, Doc, I'm just going to give you an example to back up what I'm saying. When I say we don't have one gag clause, we have 2. Now, there's been an amazing policy decision, and I really have to commend the government of Jamaica, both governments. But from 2006, under the tenure of Mr. Christie himself, Jamaica started to collate data on contract awards, anything I think over 500,000. And we have been building out a database which tells us how the people of Jamaica have been spending their money, who has been getting these contracts, when and for what. And so we have 15 years worth of contract information that has been collected since then. Now, I am aware of the fact that since last October, that database has... You're out of time? What? You told me I had more time, Doc, but I have to make this point really quickly. I have been told that as a citizen, I can no longer access that database, historic information on contract awards. And I sat on Toussaint when I asked the Integrity Commission, on what basis couldn't I be looking at historic contract information? I was pointed to section 56.1 that says all information is to be held confidential at the Integrity Commission. Now, if that doesn't trouble you, Doc, I gotta come back and tell you why it troubles me.
All right, look
Yeah?
like we have to go work on that. Okay,
right.
thank you, sir. I'm sorry, Mr. Buchanan, we can't even squeeze in a comment from you, but thank you both for joining us this morning. Have a productive day.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Isa.
Take care.
For information, how to get copies of this program, call our production department at 876-968-9596-7. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Miss Kathy Gale, and our guests. I'm Dylan Toussaint, and you're back to Love in the Morning with Nissan Williams.
A big thank